to begin by expressing my gratitude and deep appreciation first for the Mugabe for that scripture passage that he read and on which we preached a short sermon. And I want also to thank our choirs, especially the last one, for that beautiful music. Baba Mkondori vatidzidzisa kuti vadiki vedu handi vokungotuma chete nokuvadherera kuti vasati vabva zano. Kwete vane pfungwa dzimwe nguva dzakadzama chaizvizvo zvinotadzwa kuti mwana wevaive mucheche achine makore 12, mwana waMwari ndokurasika kana vakanga vaenda kupasike kuchidyo chegore negore chokurumbidza Mwari, iye nzvengu sezvinoita vadiki vaye kovaineki vaingepi womutsvaga ndokuona akatogara pane ivo vano vaidzi ndivo chaivo vapi vepfungwa dzakadzama, magweta nevamwe vadhara vezvitenda. Vakati kamwana kanopinga kokuitei pano komunyungurumbidzakei kokundakapinga kuti hamuzivi here kuti ndiripo pakuita basa ramabono. Vashama vane kutora kusangana isuwo taive nemazano akawanda, asi zano guru raive vakuru vedu vaye vakarwa chimurenga, vaye vanavaka zotongwa vamwe vavo navanambuya nehanda vakatiudza zvatakaudzwawo tichiri vachechi tichiri vadiki kuti kwaive nambuya nehanda vakatungamirira chimurenga, asi mudzimai iyeyo akatongwa pamwe chete nevarume akadimurwawo musoro. Kanzwa kuti misoro yedu yange yakaunganidzwa yevanhu vedu vakuru vedu yange yakaunganidzwa mumuseum kuBritain. Vari kuti tiizoitora, tichaitora tichigunun'una kuti makaidimurirei. Wambuya nehanda handei kuti tichauwana nepakati pacho. Mazwi avakapa kuti vana vadiki vazoteererawo nevakuru, ekuti mane wouraya zvangu ndichirwira zvangu, asi mapfupa angu achamuka. Anonzi akati achamuka vachireva kuti achakumutirai. Zvakateverwa izvozvo nevakomana nevasikana vari vakanga vabva zera, kwete vakanga vaine makore 12. Hongu vakanga vanzwa shoko iri richitaurwa sengano nevakuru, asi vazokura shoko rakuya nehanda vakati ngatirimutsei. Ndivo vatiri kuchema zuva nezuva, ndivo vatiri kuchema hongu nhasi, asi tichivarumbidza kunyanya, hatingarambei tichema. Ndivo nhungamiri vakatungamira, vakazvipira kufa nekutambudzika. Ndivo vakada kuti tizova nezuva ranhasi romufaro reindipendensi yedu, zuva rokuchengetedza zvese zvatinazvo zvicherwa, masango edu nemhuka dzedu. Saka zuva ranhasi isuwo toteerera zvavari kutaura vari pana, nokuti zviito zvavo ndozviri kutaura nomuromo wavo nhasi. We fought, they are saying, for the freedom of everyone, for justice, and for the right of self-determination to come to the land. So we are free, every man and woman, and those to be born also shall be born free. We are here to tell you that the country we now call Zimbabwe has had a new baptism of blood. We sacrificed for it. It's ours, it's yours. It's also for those who shall be born. We endow you through our actions as martyrs with the right of sovereignty. The sovereign right supreme in its essence over all that is under Zimbabwe, all that is above the land, growing, the forest, all the creatures, those creeping, those running on fours, even Cecil the lion is yours. He is dead, but he was yours to protect, and you failed to protect him. There are vandals who come from all over, of course. Some may be just ordinary visitors, but others who want to vandalize to irregularly and illegally acquire part of those resources. We said the independence you are getting, that you celebrate year in and year after, is now an instrument for you to transform your economy. The economy. But it's also an instrument for you to arm yourself with and defend and protect your country and its natural resources. So, don't cry anymore, don't mourn anymore. Joy everlasting shall be yours and future generations forever and ever. Ehe, tata kiwa naka izere yo ufumi wenyika masango ne muka madziva makarwe nowa mtukuyo wawaka wamzabi agarume asingeri shiri nyoka zingarume asingeri zvose madzinyuma matawa hapana chisiri chenyu zvimwe tinozviseka zvakazvindirwa kuti zvisekese mapundo tsoko zvese apoka tizvichengete. Izvi nezvizvi zvinotipawo upenyu imhuka dzatinodya, asi zvimwe hazvidyike, zvinogara mumasango, mumadziva. Tochengeta hazvifurwe nefuti chitema kana musere. Ndakarambidzwa ndaiti ndiri mbungi, ndaita zvemusere kwangu tokufamba ndichitenderera pasi pematenga emakuti kupfuura majinyu. Ndikazona afurirei, ndikati adyiwe, ndikati aiwa zvisikwa zvaMwari regera kudaro. Ndikabva ndaregerawo. Ndaive nemakore nokuva masere kana mapfumbamwe. Zvino hezvoka tauya pano nhasi, tauya mushure memakore akawanda tichiuya pano. Hatina kutanga tiine nharaunda iyi nezvose zviri pamwe nemakuva ari pano pete. Takavaka kuti chive chicherechedzo kwatiri chose chekuzvipira, chive chicherechedzo kwatiri chose chechido chine vanhu vedu vemuZimbabwe, kupa rukudzo kune avo vakazvipira kuti tiwane nhaka yatiinayo yekuzvitonga. Saka pavakwa takazohamba kuti gore negore tinopa chicherechedzo ichocho. gore negore ongu tinenge tine mhemberero yatinoita yekuti nyika yedu yakauya, asi yakauya nomutoo weurimi. Now, as many other compatriots gather around various shrines across the country and in neighboring countries, we are gathered here at the National Shrine to pay tribute to the gallant sons and daughters of Zimbabwe, our heroes who sacrificed limb and life in order to fight an oppressive, indeed ruthless, racist settler colonial system. Without our people's fearless resolve, courage, and self-determination and support, we would not have emerged triumphant against imperialism. The enduring spirit of the legendary struggles of the first Chimrenga of the 1890s propelled the nationalist struggles that followed in the 1950s and 1960s, and later gave birth to that unrelenting armed liberation struggle, which culminated in our hard-won sovereign independence, celebrated on the 18th of April in 1980. Today, as we salute these fallen and living heroes for their unyielding tenacity and unflinching courage, we are sadly reminded of the human remains of some of our first Chimrenga heroes and heroines. The remains of our heroes sacred to us, which were taken out of the country during the colonial period, have now been identified in the British History Museum. The remains, skulls, we strongly believe, are the skulls of the beheaded heads of Mbuyanyanda, Sekulu Kaburi, Chingaira Makoni, Chinengundu, Mashamo Makondera, Mashonganika, and Chitekeza Tuashira, among others. The first Chimrenga leaders whose heads were decapitated by the colonial occupying force were then dispatched to England to signify British victory. British victory over and subjugation of the local population. Surely, keeping decapitated heads as war trophies in this day and age in a national history museum must rank among the highest forms of racist, moral decadence, sadism, and human insensitivity. Once all the necessary processes have been completed for the return of these illicitly removed remains of our ancestors, it is our wish, in consultation with our traditional leaders, that they be given lasting rest at sacred shrines on the very land against whose occupation they bravely fought. Fellow Zimbabweans, often I have found some misguided elements in our society denigrating our heroes at the shrines at national, provincial, or district levels, where we have laid our heroes to rest. The misguided elements whom we share Zimbabwe with have the absurdity and fertile imagination to suggest who in their unsolicited and weird and wayward opinions should be declared a hero. Here and now, such people better be advised to stop entertaining themselves with mirages that only exist in the mind of the misguided. Let me make it abundantly clear that these sacred shrines are solely for our heroes who sacrificed their lives for the liberation of this country. Heroes were and are consistently loyal to the liberation cause, have their patriotism, selflessness, courage, determination never questioned. Never questioned or questionable, or in any doubt at any point in time. Heroes do not become heroes after they are dead. Let us hear that. Uhiro haumuke munafa. Kana uigama chairo iro muzviratidza kuti riri upenyu nebasa rako. Vanhu vanozokukudza chete paunozenge wafa. Kwete kuti nokuti wanga uchindiwo cheMDC nokokoko kana chimwe chipomokawo kwazvo ribonga zvinotumirwa mari nevemhiri kuti vakanganise ndima dzatiri kurima dzevhu rakatorwa nevanhu ridzokere kuvarungu zvakare. Varipo vari kudaro muri kuzvinzwa muhurukuro dziri kuitwa kuMDC. Wozoti apa wafa zvonzi muitei heroes muiti. Nokuti akangoitawo politics chete andizvona ava inyanzvika dzatiri kudzana sono. So heroes proved to be heroes as they fought and lived for and died for the liberation of Zimbabwe. They never abandoned the struggle. They never withdrew from battle. They never were rebels. They never were the weak-hearted. They never were the selfish, or what we call now sellouts. But instead, they were abundantly generous. Generous as they committed themselves to the struggle and sacrificed their bodies for their country. As government are concerned, the care does not restrict itself to the dead heroes, as has again been suggested by misguided elements. Instead, government has given itself the mammoth task of adequately ensuring the welfare of the people, the task of addressing the plight of veterans of the liberation struggle, and of course, their descendants. Accordingly, government has now established a fully fledged ministry of welfare services for war veterans, war collaborators, ex-political detainees and refugees. Although government acknowledges that not enough resources have yet been channeled towards this new ministry, disbursements have been made to cater for school fees, medical assistance, and funeral expenses for the dependents of our heroes. The provisions of the National Heroes Dependents Assistance Act should guide all veterans to work closely with the new ministry in order to formulate sustainable projects that are targeted at benefiting them. The sacrifices made by our gallant heroes can only be consolidated through the building of a vibrant economy that empowers all our people. This should remind us all, particularly those in leadership positions in all spheres of our society, to focus all our energies on ensuring that the economy is fully recovered for the prosperity of all our Zimbabweans. In our quest for sustainable social and economic development, government has been pursuing since 2013 the accelerated implementation of ZIM asset, which is certainly yielding fruits. Having registered a growth rate of 3.1% in 2014, economic performance to date indicates some modest growth, which is driven by key sectors such as agriculture, mining, tourism and hospitality, construction and financial services, as well as the public service. On the other hand, the depressed growth resulting from the 2014 to 2015 agricultural season underlines the importance of agriculture as the anchor of our economy. There is need for drought-proofing the economy in order to ameliorate the adverse effect of climate change. In a bid to adopt strategies that improve and boost food production and to ensure food nutrition security, both at household and national levels, government has secured some $98.6 million by way of a loan facility from Brazil under the More Food for Africa program, which they are running. The loan is for the acquisition of new agricultural machinery and irrigation equipment, which is targeted at enhancing smallholder farmers' capacity to produce food crops. And these tractors and equipment have been distributed. We are still distributing them, and they will start operations during the coming season, rain season. Because Zimbabwe is drought-prone, we should employ all strategies that help us to avert the consequences of drought and subsequent starvation. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, mineral output during the first half of 2015 was on an upward trend, with gold, nickel, platinum, and palladium recording significant increases. With regard to gold, good performance was on account of the supportive fiscal incentives, ongoing investment, as well as the institution of measures targeted at the plugging leakages of our mineral resources. To address the challenges faced by our local industries, a National Competitiveness Commission, NCC, is going to be established. The Commission will be responsible for reviewing business-related legislation and the repealing of old laws, which tend to impact negatively on business activities. Being a country that observes and respects the rights of investors, as government, we are prepared to listen to all investor concerns and address them, with the aim of making sure that we bring the cost of doing business in Zimbabwe to the barest minimum. Ladies and gentlemen, the tourism sector continues to experience tremendous growth and development based on the results of the first quarter of 2015, that is this year. Arrivals are projected to reach 2 million by year end. Zimbabwe recently received another award, the award titled the Roots Middle East and Africa Destination Marketing Award. The Roots Middle East and Africa Destination Marketing Award. So we got that award. The international recognition comes at a time the country was ranked number 1 in the world under the Incidence of Terrorism sub-index. We have not experienced terrorism, thanks to the peaceful nature of our people. In the 2015 Travel and Tourism Competitiveness Report compiled by the World Economic Forum, this is the recognition I made reference to that has come from that body. Colonial education was for us Africans shallow, inferior, and most inappropriate. This indeed was one of the main reasons we fought the War of Liberation. Expansion and provision of education for all was what we declared at independence. After 35 years of attaining independence, our main concern now is to provide quality education for all. Government has undertaken a number of initiatives aimed at strengthening the foundation, relevance, and quality of our education in line with the new constitution. The revision of the curriculum recognizes the use of indigenous languages as a medium of instruction. Government has also embarked on teacher capacity development programs for both primary and secondary school education personnel in order to address training gaps and the quality of education. Government is also prioritizing and strengthening early childhood development in order to inculcate necessary skills at an early stage. After the War of Liberation, government has always been seized with providing our youth with the requisite technical, vocational, and entrepreneurial skills. Government thus passed various legislation provisions and policies targeted at the youth. As part of the Youth Empowerment Initiatives in 2015, 8,422 youths have been empowered with technical, vocational, and entrepreneurial skills through the Integrated Skills Outreach Program. Training for rural economic empowerment and informal apprenticeship programs. The training programs are implemented through the government's 42 vocational training centers and supporting satellites that are located throughout the country. In pursuit of promoting decent accommodation for all, government has started implementing the new National Housing Delivery Program that aims at delivering the ZMASIC target of 313,368 urban housing units and service stands by December 2018. Presently, various rural and urban centers are busy rehabilitating existing water and sewage infrastructure. Furthermore, regularization processes of some settlements has begun. It is expected that in excess of 23,000 housing units will be provided in urban centers. The rural housing programs have been resuscitated in order to improve rural living conditions. Government has started to produce house designs of typical rural model homesteads, which can be accessed from free of charge through the Ministry of Local Government, Public Works, and National Housing offices countrywide. Plans are already underway to introduce the Rural Housing Loan Fund that will provide affordable loans to communal A1 and A2 farmers. In the health service sector, we are pleased that, as reflected in the latest multiple indicator cluster survey, there is a remarkable decrease in maternal, child, and infant mortality. In addition, full immunization of children has improved from about 36% to nearly 70%. Measles immunization is at 82%. The country has also recorded a remarkable increase of clients accessing treatment for HIV from 565,675 to now 825,978 in March alone. This year, that is March this year. Despite the budget constraints, government will continue to mobilize resources to cater for the 500,000 who still need to be put on treatment. There is marked development across all our sectors, which we continue to advance as we equally continue our environment of peace and security. And with that, I want to thank you and thank us, our forces, represented here by service. Our service chiefs who are here, to thank them for the peace and the tranquility that the country is enjoying. Let's remain peaceful. We discuss our problems in a peaceful way. Even quarrels must be handled in a manner that should lead to settlements. We don't want quarrels that end up in violence. No. We should concern ourselves now with the improvement of our condition. We are still grappling with the task of transforming our economies. Because although we have the resources lie underground, even where they are above ground, they are yet to be transformed into wealth. and transformation of the raw resources in the world is quite a task. That's a task which requires investment, capital, and that resource, investment capital, that we ourselves have is inadequate. That's why we invite investors from abroad, especially those from friendly countries, to come and join us in partnerships so we can transform our economy. But in the meantime, we'll do our best, carry on with our social sectors. We are, at the moment, reckoned by the United Nations as the number one illiterate country in Africa. So on the basis of literacy, we are quite above all the others. But it's not just literacy we require. We now want real advanced forms of education. Education at tertiary institutions. Now, some 10 universities in the country, we have a number of other tertiary institutions that give diplomas, and we should also recognize what the entirety of the developed world, you see, is grappling with. The ICT, you see, that is the ICT field. That's the field we are entering, the field we want to master very much. But I thank also the institutions that lead us in the government institutions and private ones for having conducted various businesses in peace. We are worried, of course, that recently there has been that, shall I say, freedom on the part of the private sector to get rid of workers who I understand now are in their thousands in the streets, and we do not accept that, even though it's in accordance with the law. But as I say, the law can be disadvantageous to certain sectors. And I quoted Dickens who said the law is an ass. And I think that part of our law is to be that. So we are amending that. We are proceeding already to draft a bill and to introduce it in Parliament. And we will ensure that there will be fairness, yes, on the part of the employers, but because they must be served by honest people, sincere people, hard-working people. But also fairness, that they shall not just dismiss workers anyhow because they want to widen their margins of profits. No, that we say no to. And we will protect workers legally. So I want to thank you for having come and say your coming here is an indication that we continue to recognize the good work done for us by our dear departed, the heroes. But tell their story to your children, those who are 12 years and above. Let them hear the story of how this country was freed, how our independence was won, and let them hear that talk in a manner which makes them also want to be heroes tomorrow, want to defend the legacy that has been bequeathed by our dear departed national heroes we are celebrating today. Ndinoda kutengai zvakare tichitengesesa kuuya kwamaita tichiti shoko rekuzvisunungura ishoko guru, kuzvipira pabasa rakanaka, kuzvipira kuyamurana, kuzvipira kune vanotambudzika, kuzvipira kana zuva rasvika rokuti muzvidzivirire, muzvirwire nyika yenyu yamuda kutorwa zvakare, kuona kuti zviito pakati penyu zvevanhu vari kupfekenyedza iye zvino vanoda kudzoka kumapurazi nedzimwe nzvimbo. Zviito izvozvo zvinhu zvadziviswa zvisati zvaenda kure kure, nokuti mukazviregerera mangwana rinozova dambudziko guru. Hatingave neimwe hondo zvakare yokutora nyika yedu yatakapirwa kare. Takangova tataura kuti ayo tatora nyika yedu taakuzvitonga, hapana zvichaitika. Zimbabwe will never be a colony again. Tatenga.